Right, we are live, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the URC, and we've had quite a few upsets throughout today. We have already seen Ulster get themselves a win in South Africa up against the Sharks. We've just seen Munster get themselves a huge win over Leinster, much bigger of a margin than many would have been anticipating. And now we've got this game, Zebre taking on the Stormers. Now, the underdog are Zebre, the home side for this contest. But that doesn't mean too much now, because the last two home sides we have seen be beaten by the underdogs. Whereas in this case, it's actually the role reversal, because we get to see the underdog on the road, that being the Stormers, a side who have got themselves multiple wins throughout the early stages of the competition. This is the way that the table sat at the start of today. Now, since then, we have seen Ulster get themselves a nice hefty boost. They sit themselves at the moment, and I believe it would be third place. Munster, they go up to number 1. Cardiff go to 2, so then the Stormers would be down to 4 at the moment, based off current standings. But if they were able to win this game, they would be going right back up to 1 and 2 in this competition. But nonetheless, sitting about 15 minutes away from the kickoff, we will show you the starting lineups. And for Zebre, they haven't made a huge amount of changes compared to what did work in their game only a couple weeks ago up against the Lions, which they were able to get themselves a pretty hefty victory. Well, it was by 2 points, but to be able to pull off that win anyway was considered as quite the upset. But in the front row, it is once again going to be Hussey. He looked like he was having a few injury troubles in that Lions game, so great to see that he is still there. One moment, I'm just about to sneeze, so I will quickly mute. 1 second. We are good. You know when you feel like you're going to sneeze, that you think, you know what, I can control this, so then you start a live stream and then you sneeze, unfortunately. But looking through at the back line, they have still got Dare as the number 10, Mazza and also Bertaccini in the midfield, Gacy in the back 3, alongside Bologna out on that other wing as well. A lot of pace there between those two individuals. So the Stormers, I mean, they have got a classy looking side for this match. Definitely cannot underestimate this whole Zebre team. Looking through at the Stormers, it is Alistair Vermaak in the front row, partnered with the youngster Zachary Pothem from the under-20s, and then JJ Kutsia slots in as the number 2. And the loose forward trio, Ben Jason Dixon, he's been working hard with that physicality all throughout this year, alongside Evan Roos, who has been scoring plenty of tries for the Stormers this season. Stephen Nkura starts as the 9, so no Kobus Reinach for this matchup, but Sasha Feinberg and Ngume Zulu will once again be the 10. Damien Valimza, he is in the midfield with the return of Watakalant as the number 15, with Lelion Zas and also Sanatla as the 2 men out on the wing. But looking through at the comments that we've got so far, we've got a whole heap of them. By the looks of it, we have got there Hi Hamish for the second time today. Welcome in, hope you're doing extremely well. And we have got there the way today has been going. Zebre are probably winning like 31-12. To be fair, underdogs have been having a field day, haven't they, for today? I know that Munster were the biggest underdogs of the round. They won by one of the biggest margins. We saw Ulster, they were a massive underdog. They managed to get the job done too. Can't wait to see the Stormers backline going to be absolute cinema. I hope you haven't just jinxed it, because like we've said, there's been a few upsets today, although the Stormers seem, I want to say, one of the safer teams to be able to get a win this round, but that might jinx it in that statement. Come on, Zebre. Says Aino there. And also we have got there, I know Evan Roos is kind of unpopular, but I really like having him on our side. Says Yanko, yeah, there's absolutely no denying that Evan Roos is, I would say, not so much controversial, but just more so, he's you either really like him or you don't. And he's one of those players, I think anyway, that just seems to epitomise that physicality for the Stormers. And also having Ben Jason Dixon in that loose forward trio, that heavily helps too. We have got Hey Says What's Up Guys podcast, welcome in. And also Ospreys and Zebre to win. Well, Zebre, they are more of an underdog than the Ospreys. Ospreys are only just marginally as the underdog, so they could have a decent chance. They are at home at the end of the game. What a disappointing game earlier. You're talking about the Sharks game or the Leinster game? Because I think that both favourites will be pretty disappointed with what happened for those ones. We have also got there as a bit of a prick, let's be honest. So that is in regards to Evan Roos. There is an ego there, I will say, for Evan Roos. He's just one of those guys that I think sometimes, Like, I'm sure off the field he's an all right bloke, but on the field he can kind of seem like he's, you know, a bit angry, I guess. Number 8 is like a president, doesn't need to be a nice guy. If he does his job well, says Youngco. And also, hi Hamish, I all says Wild Lobster, welcome in. And also McNulty is here, said sup Hamish. So yeah, I hope you guys are all doing extremely well. And we've got a new channel member as well. So Rel, thank you very much. You have now got access to those emojis on the channel too. But yeah, this game less than the 10 minutes away now from starting up. The underdogs are Zebre. But they've had some decent results as of late. We will actually go through what Zebre have been doing as of late. Now, last week, they will want to forget about that one. 24-0 up against the Ospreys. That was probably the perfect example of Zebre not showing up. And that is something that they've done throughout the season. They either have a really good game and they're competitive, or they'll have a game where they just don't really get going. Now, often they don't get going in away games, whereas this game is at home. The last away game, of course, 24-0, but the last home game, they managed to win it by 2 up against the Lions. Next game, that's not a fun game. I can tell you that right now, because last time Zebre played up against Leinster, it was just after Leinster got knocked out of a big competition, and they just kept on piling on the points. I think they got about 70 in that game up against Zebre, so expect more of the same for that game. And then for the Stormers, they were able to get themselves the big win over the Scarlets, so they were actually on the good side of the one-sided affair last week with that 34-0 win. And then the week prior, they were able to beat the Ospreys. Now, if we're talking technically, the Stormers beat the Ospreys by 16. The Ospreys beat the Zebre side by 24. So the Stormers should win this game. I don't know the maths there, but they should win it by about 30. But will they? That's the big question. But we have got there. I hope the Stormers can pull through or pull it off. They have played well this season. Yeah, they've had a very good start to their season. They've got some tough games coming up as well. So, of course, the more early points you can get on the board, the absolute better. As a Bull supporter, I don't say this often, but go Stormers. Says Sakabula. And also, we've got there Evan Ruiz is strong. Is he fast enough for a wing? I haven't seen too much of him. I would say no. Plus, I think with just his build, he is much better off in that loose forward trio because he loves getting into those breakdowns, and that is something that normally where he's playing, he gets so much more action. I would have expected Leinster Zebre to be a bit of a massacre, but after tonight, who knows? Leinster looking a bit down on their luck. Yeah, although they made a lot of changes, Leinster, to their side. They had all their internationals, the likes of a Gibson Parker, Ringrose, Sneyman all coming back. So I feel like give them another week and they'll be right. But yeah, definitely not the result that they were after. We were talking about predictions at the end of that Sharks-Ulster game, and I don't think I saw anyone really back in Munster. Everyone was saying big win for Leinster by around that 15. But from there, it just didn't happen. Munster won it by 20-something, I think, in the end. Or maybe Leinster may have brought it back enough because of that last-minute try. But the bonus point win for Munster at Croke Park, absolutely massive for them. We have got Doug, as their big Springbok and Stormers fan. Love your podcast, Kiwi lad, and do appreciate you being here, Doug. We have got plenty more coming in the near future. Like I mentioned, next week we're going to get to see the sides in action yet again. And then the week after that, the Boks are back, going head-to-head up against the Japanese. We will be covering those games on the channel too. They have got Japan, they have got France, they have got Italy, then Ireland, and then Wales, I think, is their last game of those November internationals. Yeah, for some reason, the internationals coming back doesn't have an effect you'd expect. At least not right away. Guess it takes some settling back in. And yeah, I guess it's like all things. You need that chemistry to return. Even though those guys have played so much rugby together, sometimes it just takes that little bit longer to find that rhythm. And, I mean, you could say that was the same thing that we saw for the Sharks. You know, they had about 12 Springboks in that lineup, but just wasn't clicking, unfortunately. And when you have a side that doesn't quite click, all it takes is for your opposition to just have that little bit of a better day, and they can get themselves the win. I have a sneaky feeling for a Zebre win. I'm going to say I don't think they're going to win, but I think it will be closer than it seems. You know, I think we're going to see maybe about a 24-point gap, somewhere around there. One moment, I'm about to sneeze again. I love hay fever. We are good. I forgot where the unmute button was. I ended up muting my URC coverage. Jacob was a real disappointment. Maybe time for Plumtree to go back to New Zealand, says Daryl there. Yeah, see, it's a tricky one because I've seen a lot of people from the Sharks calling for a new coach, but I don't know if it's only the coach at the moment. Look at the light. Doesn't looking at a light make you sneeze more? And 24 would still be reasonably comfortable. I'm hoping it's not like a 3-point game. Yeah. I mean, I think both of these sides, well, at least the Stormers, I know for a fact, will be chasing a bonus point here. 4 or more tries will be the bare minimum that they are looking for. Sharks, Lions, Dragons, who is worse? Says, hey, no, there. Well, the Lions have got themselves a win so far in this year, so that would boost them up a little bit. Gets it out, says Daryl, and 0 rhythm from Leinster. Jameson Gibson Park standing still wondering for half the game. Munster were knitted already, says Jumbo. Yeah, it was certainly a game that no one anticipated that scoreline for. But I think we would have just sat there in pure surprise if we had done the live stream for that game. What did Willie LaRue do wrong? The ref let the kick be retaken. When can the guy start running? Or is it another grey area in the rules, says Xander? I haven't actually seen that one yet. But I know that it was that last kick that they took again, wasn't it? I put all the blame on Plumtree. Rassi uses basically the same players and gets so much more out of them. Says AJS. So are you saying nothing but the coach in that regard? Because I do think that there's been a lot of talk. I don't want to chuck those rumours around, but there's been a lot of talk about the egos of Sharks players. And like it's been said, Rassi is able to control that because they know, well, if we piss off Rassi, we're not playing international rugby. Whereas there just seems to be a lack of actually caring about the Sharks from some of those players as well, which I don't think helps. And someone mentioned about it, how a lot of those guys aren't even from Durban or that region. So maybe there's not that loyalty to the club that you'd like to see. They are just collecting that paycheck. And of course, the Sharks have been throwing around plenty of those. But yeah, I think that, you know, a new coach, it could change things, or it may go back into that same Sharks trend that they've been in for quite some time now. What was the Leinster-Munster result? Have a guess, but you'll get it wrong. So I will just tell you, Munster won in the end. I'm just going to get the exact score because Leinster scored late. 31-14 in favour of Munster. They won that game by a lot. Sharks don't even look like they want to win. Exactly. And yes, you can say that that's the coach's fault, but you could also say maybe the players are getting paid far too much for doing far too little regularly. And like there just seems to be no punishment. You can have a terrible game as a Springbok and they go, right, we'll chuck you straight back in the starting lineup for the next game because you need game time. Whereas at least in that game, the likes of the one up against the Dragons, don't get me wrong, they look pretty rough in the wet. But the benefit was the players who were out there wanted to play. And that's a big difference too. And well, great Munster, says Sakabula there. And also the penalty try was an interesting call. Never seen that before. Ref said Villy ran too soon. But I can't really imagine that from a veteran Springbok. I can imagine it from Willie LaRue though. Out of all the players to try and toe the line, I feel like he would be one that would give it a bit of a crack. Their club side consistently loses. Those egos quill soon. Will be bruised down to size. Jake White going to the Sharks. I don't know. I feel like he just wouldn't want to. At the end of the day, it would be a pretty stressful job at the moment, that is for sure. But Stormers, they are just showing the starting lineup. We're about a minute away from the start of this contest, ladies and gents, so we will go through the sides once again for Zebre. Like I mentioned, quite a few handy enough players out there. Casey out on the wing, also that midfield combination of Buttacini alongside Mazza will be one to keep an eye on, and then some physicality in the forwards, which, of course, they have to do just that. I have to say, though, I can't remember the bloke's name, and it's going to annoy me, but Afro Man in the loose forward trio for Zebre. Or was he playing for Benetton? Am I getting my Italian sides confused? But there was a bloke with an afro who was doing very well. That may have been Benetton. Might have got them round the wrong way. But for the Stormers, they have got some class players across their lineup. Evan Ruiz, Ben Jason Dixon, and Paul de Villiers all going to be busy in their loose forward trio. Sasha Feinberg, Ngume Zulu at the helm with Damian Valimza as the number 12, and Sanat Lazas, and also Halant as that back three. Plenty of pace there. Can they get it right? For this game, I only saw the youngsters like Zorenzo and Hooker wanting to win. The experience here looked like they have too big of an ego. Says AJS. Yeah, just like, and even that Makazole Mapimpi tackle at the end where he got himself red carded. that was just dumb. You know, for a guy who's so experienced, he let that little tiny push from the opposition after he scored the try get the better of him, and he would have been stewing for about 10 minutes going, I'm going to hit someone, and then eventually he picked on the smallest player on the opposition side and got himself probably suspended. So, yeah, like, it's easy to just blame the coach, but I do think there's a little bit more to it in that Sharks side. I also thought that Leinster penalty try looked like the ref inventing new rules to give the penalty try, says Albert. Yeah, that's never good when that happens, is it? But these two sides just about to get underway. The Stormers, they are wearing that bright highlighter green type of kit. And Jez Beck says, Nars Williams, welcome in, Nars. I will mention, we are potentially, I'd say we're about 90% at the moment, likely to. We're going to be possibly doing that New Zealand-Samoa Rugby League game later on today. First Rugby League game in a couple years, probably, somewhere around there. But I'm hoping to have George round for it as well. So we'll see whether or not that all takes place. We have got there, so we say, and Scarlet's going to win next weekend. Says Haino, and Glasgow versus Ospreys playing in the heavy rain. Yeah, and that can cause some close results. We saw it between the Dragons and the Sharks in that game a few weeks ago. Stormers could run up big score with that back line. Says Albert. And Stormers 36 to Zebras 10 is Casper's prediction here. They are just having the moment of silence before the game. Morning, Hamish, says Nars Williams. Welcome in. Yeah, I hope you are excited for a big day of sport. And morning, Hamish and Pete's, says Studs Rays in there too. Welcome in. Just about to get underway for this game. We had a couple upsets overnight in the URC, gents. We have seen Ulster get themselves the win in South Africa over the Sharks. They were about $6 underdogs on the New Zealand TAB. And then the biggest underdog of the round, Munster, having a dominant win over Leinster, getting themselves that big victory at Croke Park. And Jake has taken over South Africa national soccer team now, says Martin. And also, Hamish, have you mentioned the odds for this game? So the odds for this one in particular, the Stormers are about $1.02 or $1.05, I think they might have been. And Zebra are considered $6 underdogs here. So about the same odds as Ulster were up against the Sharks. But we are underway. Zebra kicking it off from right to left. And we're good to go for another match of the URC. The Stormers knocking it on early, giving the ball straight into the hands of Zebra, and they will be 5 metres out from the try line. That is the last thing that the Stormers would have wanted early. That ball's going to be ripped away, and referee Andrew Brace says penalty. He says that the knock-on was over. And now back in the hands of Zebra. They've actually managed to take that straight back. And the breakdown, should I ask what happened to my Lions? They actually won third straight. Got themselves the win by 9 points in their game up against Scarlets. It was a pretty low first 60 minutes. Last 20 really gave that game a little bit of life at the end by the sounds of it. But 5 metres out from the try line of the Stormers, trying to move his way forward for Mohamed Hassar. Now, almost in the hands of Munka. Does end up leaving it to the left-hand side now. Stormers trying to roll away in that breakdown. I think that was Ruben van Heeren doing his best impersonation of a worm. Trying to wiggle his way out of there to not get penalised. Currently still 5 metres out from the line though for Zebra. Passing across to the right-hand side, finding Mohamed Hassar again. Good defence at the moment from the Stormers, but how long will he be able to hold up this close to the try line? Run forward from Locatelli. Almost over. He is held up. And it will be the goal line dropout for the early stages of this game. But it just shows how important taking that kickoff is, because that turned into what was 1 second of a mistake, turned into 90 seconds of attack from Zebra. And about the start we were expecting, says Yanko there. And also, we have got the F and Beauty line, says Studs Race. And also, I appreciate those who recognise Villy. His hands off in the last game. We're very good still. And hello, Hamish, great commentary as always. Let's go to the Stormers, says Desmond. And it's great to have you here. Do let me know your score prediction for this contest. Stormers, they've only touched the ball once and knocked it on. But other than that, as soon as they get their hands on the ball, perhaps we'll see a little bit more of what they were able to do last week in their 34-0 victory. Now back into the pocket. It was, I believe, Dominguez who was starting in that number 9 jersey. Drop ball from the Stormers again. That is now 2 touches of the possession and 2 times that they have dropped the ball already. The early stages of this game. Loose ball. It looks like they're going to say play on. There was actually the knock-on advantage. So those are going for a whole 5 seconds, if that. Off to the left-hand side now for the Stormers on attack. Now 22 metres out. Stephen Nkura goes back across. Sasha Feinberg. Zulu passes across to Ruanel. The Stormers have gone from defence to now attack. Sasha, little kick in behind. Should sit up for Italy's winger there, Gassi. And Hamish, you're looking absolutely stunning, fabulous after all that commentary. Which Stormers player knocked it on from kickoff? It was actually that early on that we were still in the wide angle, so I actually couldn't tell you who ended up knocking that one on. May have been a lock, I would say, though, just with the position of where it went, or maybe even a loose forward, actually. What's with these unconventional away kits? Says when Marl, that one's got about 3 meters from the kick. Is charged down. And it's going to be a scrum feed now for Zebre. And Osprey's penalty try 7-0. Oh, that's a not start that the Glasgow Warriors would have been after. Oh, actually, it's hit his teammate in the back there. I thought it was charged down by the Stormers, but it actually hit the back of Mohamed Hassar. So that might be a 5-meter. Is it accidental offside if you kick it into the breakdown where your player is? I think it is, isn't it? So it could actually end up being a scrum feed for the Stormers here. 5 meters out from the line. I know Jimbo says, hey, no. And then what a win for Munster. Absolutely huge win for the Munster men. And we have got their South has said, how's it, Hamish? Welcome in, mate. And Sinatla playing on the right wing. He is indeed, yes, in the number 14 jersey for today. Lilion Zas out on the other wing. And then Watakalant at 15 for this game. Bright green jerseys. Thought I was watching 2015 Highlanders for a moment. Says Studs Race. Yeah, it's a little bit of a throwback to that old school Highlanders kit, isn't it? The underdogs can always surprise at any game. Absolutely. And I think this round of the URC has proved that more than many rounds have in the past. Can't see this game anywhere in Ireland. Is it on Premier Sport? Not sure about Premier Sport. I would think it wouldn't. Or, no, they probably would put it on there, wouldn't they? Because that's the option for Europe. Or a lot of locations. But, yeah, I'm not too sure where you'd be able to find it, unfortunately. There is the penalty advantage in favour of the Stormers. First scrum is dominant, which is exactly what they will want to do all throughout this game. A little bit similar to what we saw from the Sharks, their game up against Ulster. And no, Ospreys matches on for the Premier Sport option. That's where I saw JC Mars on the wing. Says AJ, yes, one moment, I am about to sneeze again. 1 second, we will mute. We are good, I think. What's the local time where they are playing? I believe it is a later evening game, about a 8:45 p.m. kickoff, I believe. Looks like a bit of a knee injury already here for one of the Zebre players. That is the last thing that they would have been after here. And come on, people, hit the like and subscribe. And try URC TV. URC TV do have it, but then, of course, that is subscription-based. And yeah, 8:53 in Italy. So here's Yanko. So just a team huddle at the moment for both of these sides while they sort out the early injury. And so South Africa says Yanko. And come on, Zebre and Glasgow says Aheno there. So in that case, you would be going for, at this stage, both underdogs, as I do believe that Glasgow, after conceding first, will end up with that underdog status. But this one's kicked into touch by Sasha Feinberg and Zulu. And again, we will see a line out here for the Stormers side. Perfect position on the field, only a few meters out from the try line. Stormers win 25 points to 17. And the only Mars I know is the Planet. Says Ruth. There's also a chocolate bar that's called a Mars bar. And some people deep fry them. I'm not too sure about that choice, so I haven't tried one. It's probably pretty good. Hopefully you're not getting sick all the sneezing. I think I'm just hay fevery. Is that a word? But it is going to be the rolling mill chance here for the Stormers. It's moving nice. And that is going to be a little bit soft from Zebre. Alistair Vermaak, the man who has managed to score here, the loose hair prop for the Stormers now. I had to refresh, though. It was a little bit muddled up, but it did show in stop motion the rolling mill moving forward. And Zebre, they tried to stop it for a second, and then she just kind of just rolled along and went over the line. Turned the start around, says Yanko. Do rugby players prefer these later games? Normally it's 5 p.m. kickoff. I haven't actually found out, to be fair. There aren't planets, says Bruce. You have a lot of conspiracy theories, don't you, Bruce? A lot of them. But that one's going to be missing away to the side for Sasha, making the score now 5-0 in favour of the Stormers. One of their first attacking chances of the day, and they have got themselves over the line. How far can you see Ulster going this year if they continue on this form? Honestly, top 4. If they keep playing the way that they are, I think they'll be quite hard to beat. Definitely because they've won away from home as well. But I think them versus the Lions next week's going to be a bit of a interesting one. Oh yeah, before that try, we were working out whether or not hay fevery was a word. Would it be spelled with a Y or an IE on the end? I'd say probably a Y. But it's not a real word. I'm going to get it in the dictionary. I don't know who to contact for that. Probably some smart person around the world. Nicely taken by Evan Russ. So Munster Stormers final. So here's Albert. Are you sure they didn't do a last minute change in that 14 jersey for the Stormers? I mean, they may have. I haven't actually seen the number 14 yet. I know it was supposed to be Sinatla, but we haven't seen it go out to that wing as of yet. I see Willems is in the midfield. They're just showing the wrong side at the moment. Yes, try time go the Stormers. And surprise, I suppose Zebra is a good name. Since they do sleep standing up. Imagine if people sleep standing up. What would happen if you were so tired that you fell asleep while standing? Well, you fall forward, wouldn't you, actually, or back? Never mind. I do that sometimes in the car, which is why I often can't sleep in a car, because I just kind of flop down. But the scrum about to take place. We're at the overtired stage, ladies and gents. I hear military guys can do that. Can they? I guess if you were up against a wall, you could just kind of, lean past. But I feel like your legs would just give way after a while. It's going to be another scrum reset here. 8 minutes in at the moment. The Stormers have got themselves the nice lead at the moment, sitting 5 points to 0. The ball came out very quickly. We have got there, simple mate. You'll see it in this match. Just want them to put up some sort of fight. Says Paul. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, they all but scored early there, Zebra. So if they have managed to get themselves that try, this game could have looked very different at this stage. But they have conceded early. They can't afford to do that again. Stormers are getting better every game. And our whole government sleeps standing up. Is that to save space? Because I feel like you could fit a lot more people's... Well, no, bunk beds are a thing, aren't they? And now going forward, Evan Russ. Sasha Feinberg and Mazulu. He's looking for a 50-22 here. A lot of distance on that kick. Looks like it might go dead on. Oh, willing to grab that ball was the Zebra fullback, and he will boot that one downfield, but doesn't find touch. 40 metres out from the line. A little bit of a step attempted. Watch the fireman sleep standing up after our big storm. 48-hour chainsaw shift, poor lad. Says Jimbo. Oh, that's a break and run forward from JJ Kutsia. Manages to get through a couple more. Off to the right-hand side. Putien pops it across. Sasha throws it straight into the hands of Zebra, who have managed to get themselves the steal. Nice jersey that Zebra have. Just sucks to be a fan of them. Says Paul, although by the sounds of it, like they get a decent amount of support in the stands. Italy crowd normally pretty passionate about their sides. Over there, yes, so True Roof came on the Stormers. Well, come on the Stormers, get your 4th win with a bonus point. Oh, a little bit of pressure there on the halfback. Almost end up falling the wrong way. That's an awkward net position there for Ben Jason Dixon. Head's popped out the back now, though. What do you think of Sasha hate? Says Y-Star. As in, like, the ones who... Like, what kind of hate for Sasha? Because I know that some people... Like, some people really like him. Some people are worried that he's going to get a bit of an ego from being such a good player at a young age. And then also there's a few that are worried about his injury count, which is probably where I sit at the moment just because of how many he has had already as a younger player. How many of the Zebra guys play for Italy? Says Sakabola. About 2 or 3, I think, maybe. Although their squad I haven't actually seen as of yet for November, so there might be a couple more based off how they've been playing this year. Glasgow Warriors 7-0 Ospreys. Wait, so Glasgow got themselves the penalty try. I'm sure earlier on it got put that Ospreys were the team leading 7-0. Oh, the steal and the breakdown for Zebra again. Good evening, friends. Been a while. Lekker to be back, says Daniel. Welcome in. Yeah, I hope you are doing extremely well. Hope you're excited for the November Internationals happening just around the corner. That's a loose ball. Now picked up. That looked a little bit high too. Advantage now in favour of Zebre. Another offload going on the outside. Keeping this ball alive very nicely. Going again into the hands of Locatelli. Now into the wide channel. Chance to step back inwards for Belloni. They said Sasha was really grounded at school on Keo and Zels. Says, cool story. As in, as in he didn't have the ego. Or that he just often got in trouble. So, you get grounded, don't you? Going off to the left-hand side. Now a little kick attempted in behind. There's space here for Casey to run on to loose ball. Picked up by the Stormers. Very nicely done. I've survived that other attack from Zebre. So, who do you fancy to win the URC? Oh. See, if you're basing it off what we've seen in their first games, honestly, Ulster's not a bad shout. I would say that the Stormers as well are looking very strong. So, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of an Ulster Stormers final. It probably won't happen. Does not approve of the word hay fevery. Prefers the word allergy prone. Well, I am definitely allergy prone then. In that case. After night, May Munster. Did his parents ground him, says Sakabula, and such as the future of our country, maybe our future captain. Well, that Springbok says Desmond. And no penalty try was overturned after 5 minutes. TMO check. There we go. Yeah, okay. So TMO's come in and Glasgow now lead. The thing you never forget is respect. Respect for your opposition and respect for your teammates and fans. Says Ruth there. Yeah, I know that Tom Christie in his post-match interview today after the NPC game, he pretty much said that the whole team love the fans and they will keep on playing for them. So they're through to the final. That type of mindset that can get you far. Ulster versus Munster will be a cracker. Is that happening? No, it's not next week, is it? Because it's Lions versus Ulster. When does that game take place? Because that might have to be one that we keep an eye on. Ulster play Benetton in a couple rounds. Ulster-Leinster, that could be a good one because by Christmas time, I think Leinster will find their stride. That one's going to be kicked high again by Zebre down towards the halfway line. Another knock on from the Stormers again here. Just a few too many unforced errors. That one's going to be kicked in behind and the mark is called by Sasha Feinberg Umbume Zulu, I should say. And also, we have got the Hamish sleep suspended in the ear. Works while sleeping. How does one sleep suspended in the ear? Is that on one of those swings? We have got there. Please pronounce correctly. Zebra is not our animal, says Bruce. Wait, please pronounce correctly. Zebra is not our animal. Their logo is literally a zebra. It literally, that's a zebra. And their new logo is a zebra too. And Sasha was grounded by his parents. He sought to remain humble, says Desmond. A hammock? I've never had a hammock. I've never had two trees close enough together to get a hammock going. What is a zebra? Is it an Italian zebra? Now kicked high. Say Zebre. See, I said Zebre for a few matches in the past and I got told say it like the animal. So I think I just get set up and people just decide to change their mind. I was saying zebra. I was saying Zebre. I've said, what else have we said? We've said another one. It's a little bit similar to Connacht, how we keep on getting corrected for that. Now, nice run from Evan Roos. Ball on the outside. Galant going for the grubber and behind. It's well cleaned up and it will be forced back by Zebre. We have got there Sasha as a wee bit overhyped. He has already been compared to Dan Carter and he's barely out of school. So here's Yanko there. Personally, I think they are hyping Sasha too much. Yes, he is good. He's already better than... but he is good, but is he already better than fly half greats? Well, that's the thing. I think people like to jump the gun a little bit. You know, they like to have that everything is obsessed with a GOAT nowadays. You know, everyone wants to say who's going to be a GOAT. And, you know, people are saying Sasha could be a GOAT fly half. You've got, who else is another young GOAT at the moment? Bel Barret. For the French, people are calling him a GOAT. But, yeah. There's still time to be a goat. The commentators are saying Zebre. Well, we will go back to Zebre until we get corrected again. Maybe Zebra in an Italian accent. You guys don't want to hear my Italian accent. I feel like that would offend more than anything. Juventus and Zebre in black and white stripes. Now, going forward. And that one's going to be another scrum reset for the Stormers. Appreciate you want to expand your horizons and commentating on various matches, but I bet you wish you'd done Leinster versus Munster instead. Says Connor Cahill. I don't know what I would have said for that second half, because the whole time I would have had to say, well, there might be a chance that Leinster come back, but it just didn't look like they were going to. But no, I ended up cooking some food and also getting that cricket stuff sorted, which was good news, as I had to get it in before this live stream started. But yeah, it was certainly one of those games that you look at and then you go away and you come back and you look at it and then you go, hang on, 21-7 to who? And yeah, Munster, very good win. We have got the Ospreys 7-all and RCMP for the junior box. Looks like a future great 9. Now that's a big push there from the Stormers again. No scrum advantage. Now Damien Valimza with the flat run just short of the try line for the Stormers. Across to Sasha reaching out. And he's trying to roll over. He may have got there, no held up. And a highlight of the game. You look like James Lowe was found out and lost his marbles, says Connor. I don't think I look like him anymore. I think that was only when I had the long hair. Now I think that I don't really know which rugby player I look like. I don't think I've really got one. I'm getting closer to maybe, I was going to say James gives a bite, but I got nowhere near the beard. I don't know who my rugby lookalike would be at the moment based off what my current face looks like. Now, Sasha going for the drop kick from a distance. That one's gone 2 meters off the ground. So that will not be successful for Sasha. Any good player matures over time. And Carter was great. Sasha is not the same breed as Carter, but I still wait for him to take drop kicks. Well, he's just taken one. And he's kicked it. I'd say that probably went about 3 meters off the ground. I think 2 meters was a bit harsh. Can I get a shout out? Says Crypto Obama. That's an interesting name. You look like Beast. As in like the South African front rower. That's a knock on from Zebra. Sits up for Stephen Nkura. And they're going to go back for the initial knock on. Dan Carter, the one and only. Is Ruth still here? She is. She's just above you. And we have got there. We'll see what November says Connor. And also cricket. Nice. What did you do, Mr. H? So I was getting all of the score and everything sorted into the PC, or it was on a tablet for the juniors that I'm coaching. So they do like the online scoring now rather than the scorebook. Well, they do the scorebook as well, but there's a little bit of extra admin that has to go into it. But yeah, this time yesterday morning, I was driving in a car up north to go to coach them. It was very hot on that day. So luckily I didn't get sunburned. Much, I don't think. Maybe a little bit. You look more like Will Jordan's long-lost cousin, says AJS. Do I? See, the thing is, that's much more of a compliment to me than it is to him, I think. And not many people look like Hamish, actually. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? She's on top of you, says Sakabula. Lots of mistakes. Is it wet night? It doesn't look too bad, but it is quite late in the evening. So there could be a bit of dew around. Feeding this ball again, Stephen Nkura. Ready to use it off the back as Evan Ruiz. Already 20 minutes through this contest. It has been flying by, but the Stormers, they've got themselves that early 5-point lead. After the right again, Sasha thought about shoveling on. Instead, it's going to be driven backwards by Bertaccini, losing 15 metres there, Sasha. And the big drive and tackle. I hate that New Zealand isn't showing the game unless... Oh, it's a loose ball. The wide cutout pass doesn't work out, and Zebre will take the lead in this contest now. Bro, can you share a screen so we can watch the match? Sadly, it would be illegal to show any match footage, but Zebre have just scored. Who threw the interception pass? Because we missed it slightly at the time, but we're about to find out exactly who did it. Now, Sasha was in that breakdown, so it wasn't him. Damien Valimza. No, it was Warkalant who threw the wide cutout bar straight into the hands of Mirko Belloni, who did end up scoring. And also Osprey 7-7, and it was Halant, I think it was indeed, yes. Ended up throwing it, and now a chance to line up some extra points. A bit of blood coming out of the mouth of the Italian kicker, but that one's gone over. 5-7 now in favour of Zebre. Just the one mistake from the Stormers. Do you know the app Stumps? We use it here in South Africa for the cricket score. We've actually got something similar, I think, except it's got all sports rather than just the cricket. So we've got something called Tribe, so it can pretty much have whatever sports you want to add in to it to a certain extent. I always thought Andrew Murdens was an excellent kicker. So here's Xander. But 7 points to 5. Nicely taken by the Stormers. Oh no, in fact, it's going to be dropped. And it's back into the hands of Zebre again, who have now knocked it on, but they will go back for the initial knock on from the Stormers. It is going to be a Zebre scrum. Why the F didn't Sky purchase the URC? The URC app is so bad. I'm not paying for it. It's not worth it, says LB. Yeah, see, I'm not too sure, because they used to have it right in the early stages, didn't they? And then from there, we saw it go to TVNZ, and now it's back to URC TV. So I would say the reason that Sky didn't get the subscription for it is the exact same reason that TVNZ didn't renew their subscription for it. Obviously, it was costing too much compared to what they were able to maybe bring in off it. Lots of people dislike URC app. I watch URC TV via website, which is really good. Yeah, it's normally not too bad. Sometimes it glitches a little bit. Like at the end of Leinster-Munster, it was glitching for me, but maybe that was because there were so many people trying to watch those final moments. Looks like a bit of a neck injury for one of the ZEBRE Parma players. Do you know when Racing naming his squad? Sometime, I believe it's going to be this week coming. And if it's not, it will be right after the next round of the URC. He won't leave it any later than that, I wouldn't think. In fact, this is already considered slightly late for him. I don't mind the app. I stay overseas. And the Afrikaans commentary on local games alone is worth it for me. But yeah, the glitches get annoying. And who still remembers Aho de Villiers, Robbie Blair, Gerald, Bosch, Dwayne Sneyman. Hey, what, you've listed like a whole team there, haven't you, Desmond? In terms of the old school players. You're showing some of the slow motion highlights. This half already 7 points to 5, the way that it currently sits. Back up to his feet here, the Zebre player, but it looks like he's going to have to go off for an HIA. I'm just going to have to find one of those websites. So here's LB. So it is going to be a multi-multi, and the number 15 jersey, Punny makes his way on. See, that was almost the Italian accent, and it didn't sound right. We over there, Pollard probably going to be on the bench. Question is Marnie or Sasha on number 10? I'd say Sasha. That one came on too quick. Sasha probably gets the start, I would say, up against, maybe up against the French. But it's hard to say, isn't it? I don't know. Do you start Pollard up against France because of that kicking battle? Or do you try and just take it to them and go with those slightly riskier plays? That one's going to go into touch. Off of the Stormers, Lebok for me, says Haino. An Ireland team seems to have lots of streaming traffic. Other games, less of an issue. Yeah, it does seem to be the ones, mainly because I guess there aren't many options to watch in Ireland at times. I know that certain games only have it available through the URC TV app. And that's your sneeze. You really don't have to keep muting yourself, mate. That's barely audible. I think I got away with the little sneeze there. Sometimes it really, I don't want to deafen you guys. And there's another one coming on very soon, I would say. It wasn't that bad on the last live stream. I don't think we had too much hay fever. It must be because it's morning. One moment, I will mute again. This one's going to be a bigger one. We are good. I also don't want you guys screenshotting my sneezing face and sending it to me. So I try and hide off to the side as well. But that is going to be a nice bit of work there from the Zebre Mall, and they will now get themselves the penalty. Arriving as the sports. I love in Formula One. I'm not a fan of the South African team's away kits. The Lions colourful one has no correlation with them. And I'm not sure about the green of the Stormers. Fair enough, says Yanko. Yeah, I think the Lions, someone looked it up and it was something to do with the street art of Johannesburg, I think it was. Or something like that was the reasoning behind it. I still think that the number on the back should be white, though, because you can't read the black on all the multicolours that they've got. I want Money to start against France, like a throwback to the World Cup, but at the same time, it'll be a good learning experience for Sasha to start. He start against Ireland. I believe Elton is retired from rugby. Yeah, because I think he's on his stand-down period now anyway, isn't he? For another year or so, or 2 years. Now moving this one forward. We have got some, is that Italian from Nicholas? Sadly, I do not speak Italian. Not very well anyway. Oh, that one's going to be tied up by the Stormers in the rolling maul. Does mean they will now have themselves the scrum. Alton got retired. Yeah, it's kind of one of those ones that I think he's decided to hang up the boots after that suspension. Zebre ahead, or was it Elton or Herschel? One of the Yankees, it was Elton. And Zebre have been the better team. And don't sneeze towards the camera like when Jim Carrey coughed in that guy's face on the mask. See this cool story? Yeah, I feel like the sneezing face, no one looks completely composed when they sneeze. You know, it's very hard to do. I remember back at primary school, like, there was someone who, when they would sneeze, I don't know if I'm calling direct shots at any of you guys, if you do this, but anytime he sneezed, he would actually hold his nose and go like that and sneeze internally. And that's got to be bloody bad for the brain, doesn't it? Because, like, there's a lot of pressure in a sneeze. But he would do that. It just, you know, one of those. Not make that noise, though. But you get my drift. Have you visited South Africa, Hamish? Where have you travelled overseas? So I haven't been to South Africa. I've been to Australia a few times, and then also I have been to Indonesia. I haven't been to Fiji, which is one of those places that I would like to go at some stage. South Africa is also on that list. It's how you blow your brains out your ears, says Studs Race. Yeah, I mean, he's still alive and he's doing well. Sorry, man, hay fever. What else is it called? Sinus, I guess it's called in some other places. Pretty much pollen. Pollen makes my brain go boom. Not literally. Unless I held my nose and sneezed. But now, running forward from Watercalant. In fact, that time it was Damien Valimza. Recognised the Red Bull sleeve colour. Now, Nkura. Going to be putting this ball up high. Down towards the halfway line, going up for it was Zebre, slapping it back now to Pani. He hasn't got a huge amount of support with him at the moment, and about 3 Stormers trying to make that tackle. Sit now 30 metres out from their line. Zebre, my hay fever been so bad this spring. Says LB. Oh, and penalty goes the way of the Stormers. This is a chance at 3. It would give them the lead, but I think they might be chasing that bonus point, just like they have in a few of the other games. I sneezed about 20 times today. Grass pollens, syringa tree. Syringa, is that how you'd say that? Have you tried allergy meds? I guess if you just sneeze, it's not that bad. But for me, the roof of my mouth gets itchy and it drives me insane. The meds really help. So I tried a couple, like, hay fever tablets, but they don't seem to work that well. But, like, I don't mind, like, it's normally just a couple sneezes here and there, and, like, I'd hate the itchy eyes. That's one thing that some people get, and they just look like they've been stung by a bee in the eyeball, which wouldn't be fun. Herschel Gibbs was banned for match fixing in the time of Kronya. Says Desmond, now ready to throw this ball in. JJ Kutsia taking his time, but now goes in nicely to Ruben van Heeren. They've already scored themselves 1 rolling maul try. Paul de Villiers breaking off the back, about 10 metres out the line. Zebre told to get out of it. And they've ended up with the ball, so guess what? Penalty against them. Now sitting 7 metres out from the line. Yeah, get the itchy eyes too. Eye drops help with that. Says Yanko. If you have it over there, try get Middleman. Oh, mid-lemon. Wait, is it mid-lemon or is it Middlemon? It's probably mid-lemon, isn't it? Yes, my eyes always itchy and watery. I basically cry all day for no reason. Super annoying. Says LB. It does sound very annoying. 28 minutes through. I think the Stormers, they will be extremely annoyed if they can't score off this rolling maul chance here. So we'll be the 5 metres out from the line. JJ Kutsia throws it in. Oh, almost goes a little bit over the top, and Zebre able to kick it downfield. So a bit of a mistake there from the Stormers. It hasn't cost them too badly. They have still got themselves the position. Have you tried sinus rinses? I've been hospitalised with sinus infection. Rinses changed my life. Says Studs Rays. You see, that's the one where you put like a teapot up your nose, isn't it? And have it come out the other side. I feel like my brain, or like, I don't know, I feel like I wouldn't be able to handle that. I feel like I was drowning. I love sneezing. I like that guy in Bloodhound Gang. Sneezing can be quite fun. It's like a good stretch. Every once in a while, you're just happy that it's happened. A few unexpected results today. What was the biggest surprise for you? Munster versus Leinster by far for me. Don't get me wrong, Ulster versus Sharks was a bit surprising too, but I could almost say, you know, you could see it coming, whereas Leinster, they did well last week. Put a teapot up your nose. I'd pass on that too, says Yanko. Rinse and suck it first. I do it every day now, says Studs Race. But I guess if it works for you, another penalty going the way of Zebre. They will be about 43 metres out from the line. Yeah, if it works for you, yeah, you should well and truly go for it. Med Lemon, we drink with Dispirin when you have the flu and take it with boiled stony cool drink, says Desmond. And sneezing leaves me dizzy and lightheaded. You must really hit those sneezes hard, Ruth. How many do you do in a row? Oh, I think Zebre are kicking for the corner here, are they? Yes, they are. He almost faces fully backwards when kicking towards that sideline. So far, only one South African team has won this week. So the Bulls and the Lions, two out of 3 at the moment. And this could make it 3 out of 4. And Dewey just smashed his opposite. And the mush, bunker card. You been drinking tonight? No, officer, just sneezing. Now line out throw here for Di Bartolomeo. His name I was butchering last week. We're probably butchering it again. Now that one's going to be slapped away by the Stormers, winning the ball back. Loose ball. Oh, good bit of work from, yeah, that isn't Warakalant out on that right wing. No, Nkura. Do the Sharks lose? All the talent, no idea. Says LB, yeah, they ended up losing by 8 points as well. So they do get a bonus point for scoring 4 tries, but they don't get anything more than that from that game, which I think will be a little bit disappointing for them, definitely because they would have felt like they had a pretty good shot of winning that game at home with 13 Springboks in their side. Did the Blue Bulls not win their match? I believe the Lions also won their game today. They did. They won 28-27 for the Bulls. And Sharks lost their game earlier, says Desmond. They did. Sure, Sharks talked about new coach, but you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Oh, looks like another change here. That's going to be Nokira making his way on. I wonder what that is. That's probably injury-based, you'd have to think, with the fact that we're only 31 minutes through. Again, the ball's stolen at line-out time from the Stormers. Makes you wonder whether or not Zebre now would say maybe we should have taken the 3, but that is a good boot from Sasha. They thought about going quickly. And they have now, wait a minute, it was taken back. It was taken back, so that means now 22 metres out from the line. It's going to be the chance here for Zebre, so actually smart not to take that quick throw. Wait, so Zebre were on the line. They may have actually had a bit of a problem here. No, they're going back to the original line-out. Referee on the sideline apologises. Your pronunciation is pretty good of all the Afrikaans names, by the way. Feel like that doesn't get acknowledged much. Says Yanko. I did get in a little bit of, or not so much trouble, but I was getting critiqued. They were saying that I wasn't actually pronouncing a few of the New Zealand players' names properly. But they wouldn't tell me which players it was. So I'm not too sure who it is, but now I'm just trying to work out who it actually would be in the team. But yeah, they said that I should put as much effort into New Zealand pronunciations as I do into South African pronunciations. So I guess I take that as a bonus. Oh, that ball's trapped again for Zebre. And it's going to be another line out. Sorry, another. Oh, it turns into a penalty because of back chat from Zebre and double blow of the whistle. Andrew Brace is going for it here. I'm not one to judge your Māori pronunciation. So here's Yanko. I still think Bucky is both is fit enough to be on the bomb squad for 15 minutes game time. Right, so we're going to see it rolling. I think they're just trying to work out whether or not JJ Kutsi actually went through the middle of it. The penalty is awarded to the Stormers. So again, Sasha will be able to kick this one towards the sideline. That one goes out about 25 metres from the line, I would say, for this one. I think there's 6.5 minutes remaining in this first half as well. And Buckius is 46. So here's Yanko. JJ Kutsia. Ready to throw this ball in. Hamish is good, but his Achilles heel, as pronouncing Natal. Was that better? I try my best. I think that might have been closer than I normally get. Going off to the left-hand side. Sasha Feinberg and Zulu. Tackle low. Just down towards the touchline now. Nkura goes back on the inside to Evan Russ. He's struggling to get through at the moment here. The Stormers. Zebra's defence overall has been pretty solid as a whole. That ball's going to be loose and now knocked on by the Stormers, but it becomes a penalty. I bet on the Stormers to win or to score 2 tries in the first half. Or they may do, because they are now going to have another attacking chance. Wallace Satiti is not even a Kiwi by birth. So here's AJS. And Natal. A little bit more A in there, is it? But now Sasha is going to again kick for the corner. What's going on this weekend? So many teams underperforming. It's been really confusing, isn't it? Kiwis would say Natal. Natal? No, that wouldn't be Tal. That would be Tal. Natal. Did you see the Munster match? I did. Big win for the Munstermen in that contest. JJ Kutsia now 5 metres out from the line. It's a good position. They did score their last try off the rolling maul, like I mentioned. And again, they will look to do just that. Still available now. Not really going forward now. Starting to move. About 10 men in there. Through the middle. Break it up. Oh, he might have got held up. He should have scored it. Probably about 98% of the time. I'd guess Neyman probably regretting the switch after tonight. Says Yanko. Yeah, although looking at that trophy in the cabinet from last season, he probably is still happy enough, isn't he? Yeah, it's just gone down on the leg of the Zebre player. Still 10 points to 14, says Jimbo. How do you have to Stormers getting held up? I have no idea, but it's consistent. And Ospreys Glasgow score, 10 points to 14 at the moment in favour of, I believe, Glasgow. Right, they want to check this to see if there is actually a grounding here. It looked like it was held up. How did he not score there? I have absolutely no idea. It looked like it should have just been a stock standard rolling maul, run off the back as a big forward and go over. The damn wall will break soon. So here's AJS. Okay, it is a goal line dropout. It's been called now as the no try. 36 minutes through in this first half. It is almost half time already. And second time upheld. That is correct, yes. And I think Zebre also got held up, didn't they? In the early stages of the game as well. So everyone's getting held up over the line for today. Kicked off long. And now looking for the kicker behind here, Zebre. Oh, in fact, no, sorry, that was the Stormers. Now Zebre returning fire with a kick of their own. Quick throw taken by the Stormers up to the halfway line. Sasha Feinberg, Zulu, he's going to go for the chip in behind. No one there for it. Now slapping it back for Zebre. Loose bouncing ball. Not quite picked up cleanly. Now it's taken by Sasha. They'll just check to make sure there's no knock on there. But if there's not, Sasha has got himself the try just before the halftime break. Feels like I've seen more holding up today than in months. And also we've got there 7-5 is a very low score. Says Xander. Bring back the 5 metre scrum, says Thuds Rays there. Bye. Good luck. But Sasha Sneaking his way through. Managing to score it between the posts. I think they've cleared everything in the build-up, so Sasha's try will stand. And also we have got the smashing my phone trying to reply to your messages. I don't know how to do this. And finally, I may not have to go to bed at halftime after all. Says Yanko. That kick has gone over from Sasha, and that is now going to make the score 12 points to 7. Mum playing golf, not just Mum, but also Dad as well. They're in like a peers tournament thing. So hopefully me wishing them good luck didn't just jinx them. But we'll see what happens. And finally, I may not have to go. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And I nearly forgot about this game. Says cited, but it is greatly appreciated you being here now. It is a close one, a lot closer than some would have anticipated, although Zebre, the only try that they've been able to score was off the interception pass. Rhetorical thought, no response necessary. But I hope you weren't a fan of Jacinta's administration. So no response necessary. So I don't get to reply for that. Well, wait, that was a question. So that's kind of like responding, isn't it? Go the Stormers, go, says Franco. Now going back across the right-hand side. And come on, Stormers, it's working again. And to be honest, Zebre are playing much better than the scoreboard reflects. Yeah, their defence has been really strong throughout this first half. 90 seconds away from going into halftime break, 5 points down. They'll probably take it, to be fair. That one's going to be kicked high and across field now, though. What a Kalant coming onto it. I believe it was knocked on by Gacy. What is your score prediction? It's a great question, because I don't know. I'm very fond of the 15 points in favour of a team today. So I'm going to say the Stormers by... No, wait. What did I say by? I think I went Stormers by 24. Maybe. I'll go with that. But I'm not confident, and I never am. Tell you what, Stephanie, I'm going to throw it around. What's your score prediction for this game? Just answer a question with a question. It's the best way to do it. South African teams haven't played well so far. CS cited. Yeah, the best side... Who would you call the best South African side so far this round? Maybe, well, the Lions were a bit rough, weren't they? Throughout their first 60 minutes or so, but they won by the biggest margin. So you could almost say the Lions were the strongest. The Bulls were good early. How's the travel fund looking for the big tour of South Africa in 2026? She's non-existent at the moment, Rian. But hopefully by 2028, we can get to South Africa at some stage. I said Stormers at 50. Going to need a big second half. CS studs raise. Oh, trying to swat it away there again. And line out time for the Stormers. Just the 12 seconds remaining of the first half. So Zebre, I think, will be more than happy to just hang on to this one. Stormers have been most consistent. Let's see if they can keep it going, says Yanko. And Hamish grafting hard as usual, says Darren. And also, does YouTube have a function where we can log in our score predictions before the game? So we can see who is the closest as the game goes. Kind of. I actually have a function on my streaming software where I can star comments. So that maybe should have been what we did. The other option, I think, I'm going to try and see if I can do this. I don't know where it goes, though. But we're going to try it. I know what JC Mars is playing. No, Sinatla. Thought I was crazy for a moment. Zebre 24 Stormers... Oh, sorry, Zebre 17 Stormers 24. I like how that just seems so easy. Yet I took about 5 minutes to decide on what mine was going to be. But that would be a decent score. In that regard, what I'm going to do, ladies and gents, I think I have to end the poll, maybe. Or do I? It says to engage with my audience. Start a Q&A. Okay. I'll click that button. Say something. What is your score prediction? With a little question mark. Start the Q&A. Right, we've started the Q&A. I don't know what that does. How do I use this? We've got no questions. Wait, but no, that's a bad way of doing it. Because it won't come through the question section because it's not because the response, you're going to have to write your score predictions with a question mark afterwards. so that it goes into the right section, everyone. So, Yeah, just if you put your score in, just put a little question mark. Although I think no, that's difficult. We won't do that. I'll just star them like I normally would. There we go. We got one so far. We got Stephanie's. We did have Stormers hitting 50 as well from Thud's Rays. And there'll be a few more earlier on that I probably won't be able to find. Are you watching the match? We are, but it's half time at the moment. Currently seeing 12 points to 7. We got the question mark from AJS. So you have done very well. We've got the question from Franco too. And Stormers 38-35 from Ruth there. And yes, Ruth, I still remember the days of Chester Williams and Stormers 31 to Zebres 22. And there too. Prediction there from Bruce is 45-10. This is interesting. I'm seeing comments on this one that I don't see on my streaming software. Interesting. We have got there 1933. Prediction followed by a question mark seems reasonable. Says Thuds Rays, and also the Stormers says Bruce. But what we will do is we will show you the bench, ladies and gents, for this contest. There we go. So Zanon, he is still available. Prince Lou as well for the back replacements. Pani has made his way onto the field. That was replacing Zebre's fullback earlier on. Still off the bench for the Stormers. They've got Andre Hugo Fenta as their replacement number 16. JD Schickerling there at 19 as well. I feel like there's still plenty of great options later on. But what we will quickly do is also show you who is playing next week in terms of the opposition for these sides. Leinster are going head-to-head with Zebre. That one's going to be away from home, so a pretty tough type of challenge here for the Zebre side, which is why if they were able to get some sort of upset win here, it would be absolutely massive for them. And then for the Stormers, Benetton, they have got them in Italy. We have to wait and see how that one goes for the Stormers as well. But as you can see, they're on a pretty decent streak at the moment. We must update the starting 15. JC Mars and for Sinatla, I sadly cannot because it's already loaded in. We have got there Zebre 19, Stormers 51. It's my score in. Says Xander, it is. I see it on there. It doesn't come through on this one, which is very confusing. And it also makes me wonder how many comments I've missed in the past that haven't come through my streaming software. I have got the option of show comments on stage. Oh, you guys are down in the corner now. It's a little box. I don't know how to do that. We'll leave that up until someone says something bad enough that I have to take it down. But if you guys behave, we'll get to leave that up for a little bit longer. From what I can see, you don't miss a lot of comments, says Yanko. I do try my best to read most of them. We have got the Eugene has also said Stormers 37 to Zebres 14. Okay, so everyone's going with the Stormers to run away in the second half. Well, looks like Go the Bulls, says Luke. And then Stormers should have been on 20 plus, so 31-14 to the Stormers if they buckle up, says Win. And also Zebre 18 compared to the 28 of the Stormers for Daniel Davids and there as well. I've just realized, is my logo... Oh, no, I don't think the logo's over the chat, is it? You guys can hopefully see it. Maybe. Recalculated, Zebre 19 and 28. And also we've got there the Stoners. Nice little bit of autocorrect there. 27 for the Stormers and 21 for Zebre. And Zebre are playing better this season. They've actually looked really strong throughout their games. I need to deselect live chat or top chat and select live chat to not miss any chats. And evening chat says on the right, and you must visit Cape Town, says Toka Coconut. Yeah, see, I feel like there are multiple places in South Africa I would have to visit if I do go. Cape Town is one. Where else should I go, ladies and gents? In South Africa, where are the good places, or at least where do you think I'd be able to find something to do that's, like, good to do? I feel like that's just everywhere, isn't it? But where are the best places to end up going? Because I have no idea. How's Sasha Feinberg and Zulu doing? He managed to score himself a try earlier on in the contest. He tried a drop kick. It didn't go over, but he's trying a few things. I think he's finding his own as he starts going further and further into this match. Suppose Zebre is still in the match. Stormers have been very sloppy. Anywhere along the coast is great. So which coast is that? Is that, because I think, is Durban on the coast on this near side to New Zealand? What's on the far coast? Not if you go, but when you go. Says Avril there. And Boksburg for boxing. Says Rian there. Boksburg. Is that Johannesburg? Don't go to Gauteng. And Joburg at 1 in the morning by yourself, trust me. And all of South Africa is worth a visit. Johannesburg, Pretoria for rugby. Kruger for wildlife. As Evan Rua's playing well. He hasn't had a huge amount of touches of the ball. But I'd say he's still been solid enough. You know, like he hasn't made too many mistakes. 1 second, we'll go like this. I just want to quickly check how far out of the game Zebre are at the moment. They're actually considered not too bad in terms of those odds. West Coast. See, I'll have to learn how to say some names in terms of like the names of the places, because is that Langyaban? Langyaban? I feel like I butchered that, didn't I? So I probably can't go there until I can say it. You can always bungee jump. And Soweto. Where's Soweto? Soweto. It's a township in South Africa. What region is it in? It's in Johannesburg. Is it like you bungee jump into water, or is it just a big cliff face? Because the thing is, I haven't bungee jumped, and I don't know. I might at some stage, but I'm not the biggest fan of roller coasters, only because I don't enjoy the going down. I prefer the flat, you know. What's the massive safari place? Hunting, camping, massive hotel, says Studs Rays. One of them, I guess. I don't come to Joburg, stick to Cape Town or Stellenbosch, says AJS. And Cape Town, first stop for you, Hamish. Then you take the cable car up to Table Mountain. And no Y sound, it's Langiban. Would you like a lazy holiday or action pack? I actually don't know. That's probably something that I'd have to work out before I go. Is whether or not I want to be doing things flat out, or whether I want to be like chilling. What's up, Hamish? Says Alex. Welcome in again. Hope you're doing well. Good enough on the pronunciation. Says Ian there. Bungee off the Soweto Towers. See, the picture of Soweto made it look like it was a very, like, flat area. So what are these towers? Are they big? Oh. That's definitely not water underneath it, is it? That's just concrete? Or do they do bungee jumping off there? Oh, yeah, no, they do. I'll walk across the bridge up top. I don't know if I'll jump off it, though. We have got there, you can always go diving with sharks in Cape Town in a cage. And Gauteng is is expensive because of the need or a SWAT team in an armoured car, says Rian. I also bet on Glasgow Warriors to get over 25.5 points in total, and they're going on 21 points right now, says LeBron. And huge, says Bruce. I live 15 k's away. And Kruger National Park is a must-see. Yeah, see, I feel like I won't be able to cover everywhere without staying for at least a couple months, which then puts the budget into a big problem, I would think. How much would it cost? Depends on where you stay, of course, but theoretically, in Rand, someone who's relatively savvy with your general knowledge, a stock standard hotel and doing tell you what, this is like planning a whole trip, isn't it? But doing 1 or 2 activities a day for 2 months. What are you looking at in Rand? It'd be a lot. I would think. Apparently the Cape Town Sharks getting smarter and can open those man cages now. Yeah, that's not good. You got a busy November coming up, and stay away from the Cape Flats if you value your life. Other than that, you should be fine and enjoy, says LeBron. Airbnb is normally around 600 Rand to 80 or 800 Rand. That's quite cheap, isn't it? Is that if you're with a group or if you're by yourself? Don't know anything about the URC. all you need to know is there's been a lot of upsets throughout this round already. We saw Leinster, who was supposed to win-lose. We have got there so that's about 150 Rand a day. Need 100,000 Rand, so that's like 10 grand New Zealand. That might take a bit of saving up for. But now, Sasha Feinberg ready to kick it off. And just tell them New Zealand is as expensive as Cape Town, with more expensive food. And all couple months activity, a damaged liver and great memories. Says Ian there. And horse riding would take your breath away. I think it would take my breath away because I wouldn't know, I haven't worked out horse riding wise where you're supposed to put certain things. Because apparently, the first time you do it, it hurts badly, because you're just slamming onto the saddle. That's a loose ball almost picked up by the Stormers. Just a metre or so out from the ZEBRE line, but now running it out. One's going to be knocked on, picked up by Paul de Villiers. This is a frantic pace. We can live for free by many people in this channel. Says Luke. Yeah, it would take a bit of organising, wouldn't it? Because at tourist attractions, the prices are high as hell compared to normal, says AJ. Yes. If you cannot arrange to couch surf your way around South Africa on our couches, then I'll be very surprised, says Norman. And also, we have got the per person, you can do 150 Rand, 200 per day. Okay, so that's $15, $20, isn't it? New Zealand, that's pretty cheap. Who does Sasha play for? He plays for the Stormers. And here, around $6,000 in total. Says Aldrich. Okay, so that works out to be, I think, closer to 10,000 New Zealand. So that seems like that's going to have to be my big goal that I'm aiming for. Yeah, that's about 10.5 grand New Zealand. As this YouTube income, all disposable income. Says on the right, the YouTube income pretty much just goes back into the channel subscriptions and whatnot, though. It's not actually much of that remaining after all of the Sky Sport and streaming software and everything's been paid for. That's going to be now knocked on again. We have there, you could seriously do a daily YouTube vid. Lots of members would watch, pay for some of your trips, says Studs Rose. You see, it would be quite cool to be able to document something. And I know that it would be probably considered dangerous and maybe not a smart move on my part, but I feel like it would be quite cool to do something how it's like each day you spend the day with a different person and like you kind of, you live with them and then you do a couple activities in that region and then you move on to somewhere else. But I'm probably going to get kidnapped because I'm way too trusting and someone will be like, hey, you should come in the back of my van for your video. And I'll go, yeah, okay. And then I disappear. Very sad. They don't do bed and breakfast. They do beer and braai and bed. Says on the right, I got a room for you, buddy. We all drink and braai a lot. We go to Loftus, though. Says Luke there, just sitting a couple metres out from the line here for the Stormers again. That ball might just be short again. Do it, Hamish. You need who needs two kidneys anyway? Says Yanko. The time has been called off by Andrew Brace. They will just be checking this one to see whether or not there is a grounding here for the Stormers. Oh, on-field decision is try. By the sounds of it. You've got to be very alert, streetwise. I'm terrible at both of those things. Like, someone could run up behind me, and I'd only know that they're behind me once they're in front of me. Any place you go in Cape Town is breathtaking, says Daniel. Oh, that may have been just short initially, but maybe in the flattening motion, might have got it down there for Paul de Villiers. It was a quiet one. As you go to the V&A waterfront, I feel like at some point I may just have to do a live stream on the channel where I literally just ask for like advice on where to go and whatnot. And like do like a mini planning of a trip. Hypothetical one for now, but like because you guys will have a lot of good information and a bit of insider knowledge. You just need to rent a big enough car to sleep in and eat local food. That should be pretty affordable. Says AJS. Is there good data, like in terms of like Wi-Fi in South Africa? Because I guess if I was in the back of like a van, I need some pretty decent Wi-Fi. Oh, he's lost position. They've said one moment. I'm about to sneeze again. We are good. Okay, it sounds like it's going to be no try because there's no clear, decisive grounding. And Simon's down to see the penguins. What type of penguins have you got? We got some little ones a little way away, but they don't like coming out much. Yes, please, South Africa's awesome, says Bruce. Yeah, two kind of South Africans, those who you trust your child's life and those who will take your shoelaces if they're not tied up. I'm joking, but kind of not, says Thuds Raising. Everywhere South Africa is worth a visit, but I don't have to, nor can you do everything in one trip. I think flying to Joburg, going to Kruger, and then flying down to Cape covers the essentials, says Yanko. I guess it just depends on how long it's for, doesn't it? In terms of kind of what you try and cover. But we'll get something worked out. Jackass Penguins says, Rian, do they like jump off the rocks and whatnot? I mean, look at their food is cheap in South Africa. It's cheap in general. We come from outside. African penguins. Now getting close here. Just a couple meters out. Rolling more chance again. Surely they will not be held up again here, the Stormers. Instead, no, they have flattened out just short of the goal line. Pick and go advantage for offside. Got the F in there somewhere. But now, that ball might be stuck. And in fact, I think maybe Zebre might have stolen that one illegally there. This might almost be a yellow card. There we are, Advanced Hamish. PS4 launched last week. And African Penguins at Boulders Beach. And Hamish says, Paula, welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. And get a SIM card when you land. And you have good data for your trip, says Yanko. And also do cover rugby or see South Africa, says Bruce. As in, like, is that like the choices, or are you saying we're not doing enough commentary? Or you're saying do like cover it while in South Africa, but just short of the line for the Stormers there again. I don't think we're going to see any sort of clear grounding here again. Oh, that angle looked good though. But once again, they don't seem to know where the goal line is. So that makes it tricky. Yeah, the referees and TMO are both getting frustrated here because they just can't see. Zebre have been defending with so many men next to the breakdown that no matter what angle it shows, there's always someone in the way. I come for the New Zealand tour next year. I think it might be a bit too soon for me. In terms of like budget-wise. Like I can start saving and see what happens, but like, if we're talking, it was mentioned before, 10 grand might be, that's not including flights either. That's an extra 3,000 New Zealand dollars, I believe. So you're probably looking, by the time you have a bit of leeway and insurance and whatnot, you're probably looking at 15 grand for the trip. So I can save up 15 grand by 3 months' time. Maybe. We have there, Jackass like a donkey's bray. Because that's the sound they make. African penguin is jackass penguin, same thing. Oh, well, there you go. Learn something new every day. And yes, Hamish, when in South Africa, get a SIM card you can use locally. So here's Desmond now rolling more. Once again, starting up for the Stormers. It's a rinse and repeat. And it's been very close many times. That has to be over. No, they're short again of the line by half a metre. Now, Steven Nkura looking for that ball. It might be stuck in there. No, it's come out now. Sasha's going to go himself and he scores another try. Sasha Feinberg, Ungame Zulu to get the try. Pointing at his teammate saying, you did that, mate, to Steven Nkura. We have got there. Please let me know when you plan to come. We will gladly transport you from the airport to the place you're staying. Says Pieter there as well. Yeah, so we'll definitely have to, I'll try and get slightly organised. And maybe in December or something, sometime when there isn't a massive amount of international rugby, we'll just set up a random live stream, which is just talking about South Africa and what to do and where to do it and what the best time and whatnot is. Kind of like I've got my travel agents watching, because you guys will know a lot more about the place than me. Like if I was to go there tomorrow, for instance, I'd get lost within a day. Easily. We have got there smashing the commentary and the comments. Love it. Good South African word to learn is kif. What does kif mean? That one's missed away to the side. From Sasha. Do you remember the pronunciation of Nui Omotu, wasn't it? Or something along those. Oh, sorry, of Mata rather than Motu. Excellent Zebre defense. Stormers should use the ball more. I think Sasha will end up top point scorer of the season by some margin. I told you relax and have patient points. You'll get mugged before you can get lost. Says Yanko. I'll probably get both, I would say. But yeah. I have the survival instincts of a puppy dog. So that doesn't bode well in the big wide world. Now, ready to go off to the right hand side. Kif means liquor or cool. Oh. Well, there you go. So, kif. So, you got kif, you got liquor. Then you got donkey. I know donkey. We'll buy a donkey. Yao liquor ding, I know as well. I know the swear words because I've been called all of them. Puppies survive. Some of them do. Go Stormers, go, says Branko. And kif is like cool. And kif is very nice. YouTube knows exactly when to throw 2 minute ads today. It's when there's a try, says Studs Race. Now, line out throw here for Zebre. They are sitting with a 10-point deficit at the moment that they have to try and make back up. We go like this and like that. Still pretty even. But running away a little bit more, the Stormers. Yao Lickerding says Yanko there. And Robot is a traffic light. What colour is on your traffic lights in South Africa? Is it the same as here, which is red, orange, and green? Or is it something different? That's what would throw me off if we get like the different street signs and whatnot. Because, oh, why is there a siren going? Oh, I just remembered where we are. We're at Zebre's home ground, which means that the ambulance is heading out somewhere. By a donkey. By could is by a coat. See Johannesburg, then travel, says Bruce. I'm sure on this group there are a few people that keep you busy for cheap. I, for one, will sponsor my home for a week if you stay, or just stay if you visit South Africa, says Toka there. Yeah, so we'll definitely, like I said, we'll have to try and get something sorted and try and find a way of doing it so that, like, I can see as many places as possible, but while also not getting lost. You know, I might have to put a GPS tracker inside. Well, not inside me. That sounded a bit weird. But like in like a shoe or something. Just so that you guys can, well, maybe don't have you guys tracking me, but I'll give it to like 1 or 2 people so they know where I am. We have many tour guides, Hamish. You'll feel at home in Cape Town, says Desmond. And Amber, or Red Amber Green. But the same colours as yours. And maybe visit with Tim from Egg Chasers. He's been a few times and knows a few places. Says Eugene. I've never seen that amount of meat at the Bryce. And now, chance here for Zebre. They are on attack 40 metres out. Or in fact, now 30. Tackle made by JD Schickling, trying to hold him up. Oh, the pick and go round the side, knocked on by Zebre. Looks like they're going to go play on just for now. Lilian Zas is inside of his in-goal area. He is forced dead, and they will go back now. To avoid trouble at the airport, don't bring anything inside you. That's a good call, I'd say. Robot here is orange, red, and green. See, here's Desmond, and yellow lines are the outside lines on the road, and white's the centre lines. Okay, see, we've got, well, it depends on where you are, but our outside line is normally white as well here. And then the middle line is white, and then red when you're not supposed to pass. To avoid trouble, I know I read that one. The best South African phrase of all time is Yalma. See, I think I know that the last bit's not good, isn't it? And we have got there. We don't have many traffic lights left, says Colin. I read as go for taxis. Says Sakabula. Well, I once got told that stop signs only apply during the day. But that's not true. You have 100%, says Yanko. Oh, another free kick. This time going the way of Zebre. They're 5 metres out from the line here. As that one wasn't actually ruled as a knock-on. A pothole's a common thing? Yep. Big time in New Zealand. Normally, the ones that they just fix then end up with another pothole. So there's a few of them around. And we drive on the left side of the road. We do as well, so that works. I wouldn't get too confused in that department. Now going off to the left-hand side again here. So then just the 3 metres out from the try line. A little bit of a counter-ruck coming from the Stormers, and they win the penalty. That is a big one to get right at that time. 51 minutes through now. Depends where you go. Some places you really shouldn't stop at night, even if the robot's red, says Yanko. 6 Ks from Ellis Park, says Bruce. South Auckland is full of potholes, says LB. It happens. I think it's just because of the heavy transport on the road now. There's not a lot of trains running anymore in the South Island. However, they use maps to find the route. Auckland to Cape Town, 25-hour flight at £1,000. Just sail west, Hamish, says Eric. And Bruce isn't that dangerous, says Sakabula. See, the other option, I remember I was looking a little while ago. I know that this is rugby commentary, but we're getting distracted by the idea of going to South Africa. But I was looking, and the other option to get there, if I don't want to do a super duper long flight, is to do some sort of cruise. Because I know that cruises go into South Africa one way from either Australia or I think it's from Europe. Do it one way. But then I'd have to get to Europe, which is just as long of a flight. So then that doesn't really change anything, does it? And Wellington has heaps of potholes as well. Now kick downfield from the Stormers. That one's gone out. Now 35 metres out from the line. The Stormers just haven't really had a huge amount of attacking chances in this last little while. And time for you to open up, Stormers, says Daniel. Now line out throw. The main dish of rugby with a side of allergy chats and travel plans. You can fly direct from Sydney. You can. It's like 14 and a half hours. But I guess if you haven't had a good sleep would be ideal, wouldn't it? You'd be able to get some rest. But as mentioned earlier on, my head kind of goes forward in vehicles. So I think it would be the same on a plane. Ready to throw this ball in for Zebre. It took about probably a minute and a half for that line out to take place. A bit of a slower second half, says Stephanie. Yeah, a lot slower. It seems it's as if we've just come to a little bit of a screeching halt. Waiting for something to get going. Oh, and one's going to be stuck in there. And again, the Stormers defend the rolling ball. That's about the 4th time that they have done that today. And every time that they try and get some sort of momentum going at line-out time, Zebre, they just can't. No mention of Biltong today. That is true. Until now. Now we got the Biltong chat going. While we're at it, we might as well plug the old Instagram, because if we are going to be staying on people's couches and whatnot, we probably won't organise it through a YouTube chat, so be sure to follow us on Instagram, ladies and gents. The DMs on there are always open. If you want to talk rugby, if you want to talk random stuff, we reply to pretty much everything, even if it's weird, and normally we will meet you with just as weird back, and by we, I mean me. But yeah, be sure to follow it. That link will take you straight there. I haven't posted anything on there, but it is our account. And wear your New Zealand shirt and we will welcome you. Says Bruce. Oh, breaking the line again. Sasha now with a big chance. He goes for the kick out wide. Just needs the bounce of the ball. It sits up, but it's knocked on by the Stormers. Kick dead. They'll go back for the scrum again. Have you travelled outside of New Zealand? I'd imagine since you're so far from everything, going anywhere is really expensive, says Yanko. So I've been to Australia a couple of times as well as Indonesia. But nothing further than those two. Did you get any sleep last night? I got like 2.5 hours. So I'm absolutely buzzing at the moment. But yeah, I will end up sleeping probably tonight. That was so close there, Sakavoli. Just Steven and Kura not quite able to win that challenge. Nice break from Sasha there, says Sakabola. Time is off, 25 minutes now remaining. Nice break from Sasha. Yeah, just showed some real toe. Some pace there. And come as New Zealand media, when New Zealand is playing South Africa again, sneak inside the plane and take lots of photos so they think you're an important reporter, says Xander. That's an idea. I think that they'll probably notice a random bloke who they don't recognise on a plane taking photos of them, though. Are we streaming the Kiwis? I think we actually will be. I'm hoping to have George round for that stream. And yeah, if he doesn't end up coming, then it will be slightly sad because I've kind of got it planned that I've got the layout all sorted. But yeah, hopefully it will be me and him, or else it will just be probably myself. But I am planning on scheduling it probably in about, I'd say, an hour and a half. Great field position, Stormers. Some points here, please, says Sakabola. And they have got themselves a scrum just 5 metres out. Once again, we've seen another one that hasn't been ruled as a knock-on. You're living like an investment banker. Sleep schedule, I don't know how you do it. Says Yanko. Yeah, I don't know either. It's starting to catch up with me, I think. I know I'm 25, but I feel 30. Now a little grubber in my eye from Sasha. It's going to be claimed. I'll go back. Bring a fancy multi-tool pen. You'll look official. Or I could. Although, on a plane, if I go like this, that kind of looks like it's a weapon of some sort. It is a screwdriver for anyone who wasn't here for the last one. Come on, do it. Come on. My face is not there. You don't have to look. Do it. Come on. Yeah. Look at that. Screwdriver. I don't know why I said that like I was a toddler. I just found something in the garden. Hamish, if you want to enjoy good food then, you should stream going to every city in New Zealand, watching some rugby games on the way through. Says Alex. And Sasha should have passed there. And I'm too tired to visit my aunt anymore, Hamish. I'm 42, and Rusty would be watching this game too, I suppose. Sasha's conversions. There's probably one part that he's been a little bit rough with, I would say. It looks like Volpe will make his way off the field, and Carrera will make his way on. Hamish, when you visit Cape Town, come to Eastern Dish, says Desmond. An amazing gimmicky pen, Hamish. And very Doctor Who right there, says Ian. And once upon a time, clipboards. Today, though, an Apple tablet. So expensive. Pretending to look official now, says Studs Race. I love a clipboard. And I lost mine a while ago because I don't know where I put it, which is, I guess, how things become lost. But, yeah, there's something about writing on a clipboard with that hard back, gets me going. But scrum feed now for the Stormers. They're still 5 metres out from the line. I feel like we've been here for 5 minutes at the moment, just waiting to see them score that try. Should you visit Cape Town, you have to have a bite to eat at Eastern Dish, says Desmond. Now, Stephen and Kura to put it in. Surely they can break through here. Evan Ruiz doesn't look like he's going to go off the back. There's an advantage now in favour of the Stormers. Valimza goes back, passes out to Watakalant. And that will be the try now for the Stormers. Number 3. Double blow of the whistle there from the referee. I wonder what that one's for. That's probably for a yellow card. So 2030 tour, South Africa tour in New Zealand. This is on my list, says Bruce. And nice one, yes, says Sakabola. And good old days, Hamish. Remember those flip files? Says Ruth. Yeah. Hole punches. They were quite fun. Staplers. I'm just naming stationery now. Is there a check? I think it might have been a warning for the front row, I want to say. We have got there, does Sinatla not start? JC Mars on instead. I don't see Mars in the lineup. Yeah, so they must have had a late change with no Sinatla out on that right wing. Sasha does get that kick over, though, making the score between these two sides now 24-7. And rear card, says Anna. I'm not sure what the rear card would be for. And my Australian friend was arrested for smoking weed on the beach. 2003, they let him go when they found out he was from Australia. Oh, that's, I guess, a bonus for him. Paul de Villiers, he has made his way from the field. And I was going to do a transition and say, and anyone who hasn't already, be sure to make your way over to the Kiwi Lads Instagram and follow us over there as if we do end up in South Africa, we will probably be keeping you guys updated on that. 4 more tries and the Stormers hit 50. CS starts race, and they have got themselves the bonus point already from this contest. I thought that was try number 3, but it was actually the 4th that they've been able to get. So now, all they need is to just close out this game, and they will be able to get themselves the full 5 points on offer here. Okay, there you go. Stormers go, says Franco. Oh, another penalty going the way of Zebre. The discipline hasn't been the absolute best from the Stormers in this game. It hasn't been too bad either. But, like, yeah. Zebre, actually, they did get a yellow card. How I mentioned that there was the double blow of the whistle. I thought it was just a warning, but in fact, it is actually a penalty going against them. Oh, yeah, I've got there. Sorry, I missed the question mark. I was asking if it was a red card incident. I think you said yellow after card. Yeah, so it is just a yellow. It won't be upgraded to a red. Currently sitting 20 minutes remaining on the clock here. So Stormers getting told to close the gap. Or sorry, getting told to open the gap. Normally if you're told to close the gap, it would be meaning that you're more in an illegal place. And I am going to sneeze again. 1 second. We're good. And now, Zebre on attack again. I don't think I've sneezed this much on any live stream in like a year. That's another advantage going in favour of Zebre. The Stormers may not be a mile away from getting a yellow card here too. That ball's gone straight into the hands. Oh, a little bit of wrestling. They're all right. Bless you, Hamish, says Ruth. No, the Stormers will win. Back to the top of the log. And bless you, says Stephanie. Thank you. And also we have there Brazil. Oh, that game was happening, wasn't it? I keep on forgetting. And I know that Brazil needed to win that by 21, which means Paraguay are through to the World Cup. That's big for them. And Brazil are through to the repechage, which hopefully will now give us some timings in terms of when those games are going to be happening. If you come through New Zealand, can you come to Wainuiomata? I still say it wrong. Is it in the North or the South Island? North Island, isn't it, Alex, I assume? And a red is an upgrade. You don't want, unlike a new graphics card. See, it's a cool story. You see, I use a lot of technology, but I don't know what my PC has in terms of specs and whatnot. I got it because it had green lights in it, and I thought it looked cool. But it kind of still works. So that's nice. 41-7 is the prediction there from Ange. They're actually going to take on 3 points here, Zebre. So I guess that is because of the fact that their line-out hasn't been going well. And also, I guess, because of... Well, why would you? You're down by a lot of points. Maybe this is just to use up the time of the yellow card. That's the only thing I can think, because or else, you know, you are literally saying, have another attack at us. The kick has at least gone over, so that is good news for Zebre. So they move up to the 10 points now. How are you feeling about the NPC final? Which team are you rooting for? I'm excited for it. It's just a shame that it does overlap with the game between Japan and Australia. So we won't be able to do both, although we will be doing a bit of a co-commentary situation for those ones. And maybe we should turn the sneezing into a drinking game. I think that would be very tough unless you are very good with alcohol, because you'd be about 10 shots deep at the moment. I knows what you knows. We have got there also North, it's in Welly. And also, has anyone seen that game in Italy? It's like rugby, but they beat the hell out of each other. No, I don't think so. Paraguay will be taking on Samoa, Namibia, and Belgium. Oh! Wait, so Paraguay don't make it to the World Cup, they just qualify for the repechage, don't they? That seems rough. I got all excited for them saying that they got through the World Cup. And no, they still have one more mountain to climb, don't they? And South Africa bottle of wine. Says Bruce. And the Glasgow Warriors winning that game 35 points to 17. At the moment, another kick downfield from Zebre. Zebre. Okay, the guy in the commentary box has just said that he's a bit disappointed with the size of the crowd, because when it's a derby game, it's normally full. But this isn't a derby game, so it's not full. And while Samoan rugby is in serious strife, they actually are. Like, if they don't qualify for that World Cup in 2027, their rugby union's going downhill big time. They've already lost out on the sevens. They're in Division 3 for that, so it's only a matter of time until the funding gets cut for that. That's another penalty for Zebre in the breakdown. They're exposing a couple little gaps in the Stormers' side, which I think is one thing that the Stormers may be relatively thankful for in terms of learning these little bits and bobs that they have to work on. You talk like you want Stormers to lose, I assume that would be from Bradley Williams. We wanted a close game. I predicted the Stormers to win by 24 points, though. And the thing is, I kind of need Zebre to probably score another try to stop the Stormers by winning by more than that. So, people love an underdog, don't they? But the Stormers are going to win. And aren't all those Pacific Island nation players all in New Zealand anyway? Seems like a tough place to run a league, says Yanko. Do you see how sad the Lions Stadium looked with the 4 supporters? Says Many. Yeah, there's been some low numbers. And then you look at Croke Park where they had probably about 50,000 in attendance for that game between Ireland's sides Munster and Leinster. Samoa's only doing bad because most of their best players are playing in the Bunnings NPC like Miracle Whailangi. Yeah, I really hope that they actually have access to their good players to qualify for that World Cup. Because the thing is, those guys who aren't willing to play for them now will be the first ones to put their hands up and say, I should be playing for them if they make it to the World Cup, even if they don't help them get there. Now up to the 22 here for Zebre. Stormers, their defence has been solid all throughout this game. Just that one try has been scored by Zebre, and that was off the interception pass. Other than that, been pretty flawless when it comes to that defence. Right, jumping across, dangerous landing there at line-out time. And they're going to go for the points again. I mean, even the maths doesn't math there. Because you get 2 more 3-pointers, you're still down by 8. So I think it's just to try and use up the time on this yellow card. But I don't know. It's weird. And Lions Stadium was sad. Says Stephanie there. Yeah, it's always a shame when you see like the slightly emptier stadium. Just because it would be nice to see those sellout crowds and just big atmosphere at the ground as well. Who else thinks Zebre should translate to zebra? I said it that way for a while and then I got told that I was wrong. So I've gone back to Zebre now until I get told that that is wrong. Samoan rugby leaders have screwed over their players for years. They stay in top hotels while teams get chucked in motels, etc., says Studs Race. That one has that gone over? Yeah, it did. So 24 points to 13 now between these two sides. However, their Paraguay should be ranked at 30 when the rankings get updated. And yeah, if they make it through the World Cup, they'll certainly get that nice little booster up as well. 13 minutes remaining on the clock, though, just out from the goal line, taken by Zebre, who will kick it downfield and into touch. See, if they concede a try now and a conversion happens, you just kind of butcher that a little bit. But 90 seconds remaining of that yellow card. And Zebre aren't playing to win. And it is a shame because, but then at the same time, if you've gone to your line out, let's say, I don't know the exact numbers, but we're just going to make them up. If you've gone to your line out, let's say 5 times throughout the game and you've lost 4 of them, and then the other 3 times that you've gone to the line out, your rolling maul has been stopped and the opposition get the ball, what do? I guess quick tap's probably your best option, right? In that scenario. Hamish, if you want a funny stream, do a match on the P&P Gold Cup Robinson Super Sports shows. It's on YouTube. It's club rugby, but man, those guys play with heart. I think tomorrow it's the semi-final. See Xander. I remember Simon Zebo. Where's he at the moment? Was he at Munster? A couple years ago. He's retired now, isn't he? I think he gave it up. Right, now the change is being made. By the looks of it, it is going to be Pitanari. Oh, that didn't sound too bad compared to how the commentator over the loudspeaker said it. I might have almost got that right. They change it. See, here's Bradley. And Munster and Racing. So is he at either of those clubs now, Jimbo, or is he all done for his international, or not for his internationals, but for his franchise rugby? Ball fed in again for Zebre. Super Sport Show, it on YouTube. I love how 2025 is coming along. Says on the right there. And now, a little bit of an early push from the Stormers. They've been told to stop it. And Prem Sports presenter now says Jimbo. Well, it's good that he's found some sort of role. It's always nice when those guys go to either commentary or to coaching or find something that's still rugby related, because it can be a bit of an adjustment when you go right from playing, 365 to then nothing. And now still the 11 on the clock. Oh, someone's got an air horn. The thumb up there from the replacement 21, which in fact he would be 22. I think it's Khan. And thank you, great commentary, says Corinne. Thank you very much. We have been very distracted on this live stream, I will mention, but we've got there in the end almost. But yeah, it's been fun. I don't know. I feel like some people prefer these live streams to the ones when I'm doing the full-on commentary. It's a very hard one to kind of work out. But we haven't been told to show the game too much today, so that's ideal. And we haven't had too much of talk about the game. That's a big break and run from Zebre. Now, rough pass. And behind. Dara has to go back for it. Do you think that Paraguay have the depth to beat Samoa, Namibia, and Belgium next month? It's a tricky one, because I'll be honest, I don't actually know where Paraguay are at in terms of, level. So I think I have to see their first game first to work out whereabouts I see them sitting. Chile have improved a lot since their last Rugby World Cup, so I think they'll be one of those sides that if people had based off their World Cup, they wouldn't have thought they'd beat Samoa, even with Samoa having a lower kind of mixed team. But, some of those low nations are actually going very nicely in the right direction. You look at Spain in the sevens in just recent times. Some club games are playing on fields, look like sandpits, poor guys. Fall hard, but they play with heart, says Xander. Back across to the right again. Looks like they're actually going to go for the box kick now, the Zebre. The thing is, 2 tries for them here, and they would win this game. That was a chance at a mark for what a Calant, but instead, he's going to run it straight sideways. Wide cutout pass, loose ball, grabbing forward by Zebre. Now Sasha manages to kick it sideways, jumping on it. That's a tackle on the ground from Sasha. Probably lucky to get away with that one as the Stormers almost managed to steal it back, although Zebre have got it back again. And 13 minutes are enough for Zebre to come back. Says Xander there. Not far from the stadium, as you know, but at 22-22. It's quite quiet as a berg here. Back across to the left-hand side. Tackle made on Odiasi. Now chance here out wide for Zebre. Gone. Little bit too close to the sideline, though. Had to cut back in for Pani. And the penalty for the Stormers. That was the chance that they need to come on the story, says Gary. Yeah, they have kind of reached that cruise control stage now. Distracted, but Kiff, says Ian there. And when last did the Stormers score? Surely it's been 10 or 15 minutes of Zebre only. Yeah, I think that last try for the Stormers was at about 50 minutes through. Maybe a little bit later, 55. Have a quick look. Got the timeline here. It was 57 minutes for What a Calant. The ref is a little suspect here, says Grant. And that's what I like in rugby. Namibia has got Paraguay in the bag, says Yanko. Thought the Stormers got away with that tackle on the ground there, says Studs Race. Yeah, it did seem like Sasha did get himself maybe in a little bit of trouble, but he did not get called for it. And should Stormers go for tries or 3-pointers? I think that the next one they might go for the corner just to really seal the deal, or they could go for 3 to wear down the clock, and it would give them 2 converted tries in the lead. Now JC Mars, he will make his way off for Similani. Mr. Kiwi, sir. Have you heard of the South African scrum half by the name of Hassim Pete? I certainly have, because we covered that Under-20 Rugby World Cup, and we saw that man lift the trophy at the end. Very bright youngster. Some were disappointed not to see him playing for the Lions in this most recent game, but I think they were playing, or he was playing in the under 21s or under 23s game up against the Sharks. But yeah, bright future for him. Him alongside Vusi Moyo were just phenomenal. You've also got the youngsters Chiswell Yusta, Klachani, all those guys from the under 20s as well, who all look like they have got very bright futures. JJ Theron, I'm just thinking through the whole side at the moment. Who was the other bloke in the loose forward trio for them in the under 20s? I can't think of the name of the fella now in that loose forward trio. Who was their number 8 for a majority of the games? I'm going to look at it now, hopefully, if I can find it. They'd be the junior box. Do they come up as junior box? We're going to find it out. His name that I was trying to think of was not that one. That was up against Scotland. That was the wrong game. Mlaba, I think, was the one that I was thinking of, alongside Nyale. Says 15 minutes. Says Jamie there. Love to see supporters from other countries that follow the baby box. Says Minier. Yeah, it was an absolutely phenomenal competition. I covered that game in the Under 20 Rugby Championship between New Zealand and South Africa, the one that almost had 100 points between them, and it was just great back and forth rugby. Now, on the halfway line for Zebre, that was Wandile Mlaba. Yeah, he looked like just an absolute lethal ball carrier. This is going to be a great carry down the wing for Zebre, but again, the tackle made by Watakalanta, and that may have been a knock-on by Zebre. In fact, ref's just going to say play on. No, now they will go back for it. Okay, there probably a lot of stoppage time, says Yanko. And I remember Australia versus England under 20s was 68 points to 40. It was a pretty wild score. That happens in the under 20s. Sometimes both sides... I mean, I'm looking at this one. South Africa won up against Scotland under 20, 73-14, as just a random group stage fixture that took place. Australia versus South Africa, 73-13 in the under 20s as well. Plumtree has to explain why the Sharks have failed so easily. Says Grant there. And Glasgow are smashing the Ospreys 35 points to 17. Hamish been fun. Stay liquor. China Brew. Says, cool story. And also, when your attack is strong, but your defence is a bunch of scared teenagers, says Big Rig. Yeah, everyone loves scoring tries at that age, don't they? And having those big line breaks and whatnot, but it's those guys that muscle up on defence to help win their side games. I think that... What game was it? It was England-South Africa where we saw the under-20 box have some of the best goal line defence I think we have seen of any side throughout that whole competition. And that was in a crucial game too, because in the end, that was the thing that knocked England out of the comp. Any other games worth watching after this? There's a league game later on tonight if you're into a little bit of rugby league, taking place between New Zealand and Samoa. I will be live for that one, hopefully alongside George. So if you thought that I was randomly running off on a tangent for this game, he kind of doubles down and he adds swear words. So be sure to catch up for that one. When your attack is strong. Oh, no, I read that one. And who keeps giving Plumtree head coach appointments? Says Dud Trades. This one's going to be kicked into the corner for Zebre now. I've just had the realisation. If they score now, they're within 7 and they get a bonus point. But they do need to score now because they have had all this time where they go for the attack. There's no ball. Oh, no, they've got it now. Great pass from the youngster. He's got a future. Get him in it there the next couple of years. Ready for this throw now for Quattrini. Some of the names are quite hard to say in the Kiwi accent, so I have to try and mimic an Italian one, and it doesn't sound right. Swear words just show you have passion. He's just got a colourful vocabulary, that man. Do refs have a natural bias? Oh, this might be a yellow card here for the Stormers, or at least very close to it. Okay, 6 was early, they have said there. So they will go to the corner again on Tuesday. I'll be off to the Gold Coast. Should I have lunch at Wendy's or Dunedin Airport? You're on the Gold Coast. I think my parents are going to the Gold Coast next week. But they're going on Friday. Maybe. I think that's where they're going. Try disallowed. We're back to 17 points to 35, says Jimbo. Well, that one's going to be slapped away. Now, Evan Ruiz just a couple metres out from the goal line. But once again, it comes down to that argument of every time they've gone for that rolling maul or some sort of line out here, Zebre, they pretty much lose the ball. We're moving forward. Riley Norton and Koa are great, says Eric there. And what channel is this on? It is on URC TV for us here in New Zealand. Zebre have had a majority of the possession throughout the second half. And come on, Stormers, wake up. We need more tries so Hamish can stop discussing the under-20s. As good as HP Source, as we need movement here, says McNulty. Now a little kicking behind, taken by the Stormers again. 3 minutes remaining. Sasha Feinberg and Zulu keeping it low. And I think that's a 50-22 for that, man. Does your sister live in Aussie? She does, yes. Although not the region that they're going to, but I think they are going to see her. A nice exit, Stormers. Says Sakabula. Going to the Gold Coast 500. I think there were talks that they were considering going to it, but in the end they decided not to, I think. My uncle might be there, though. You have to say hi. You won't know what he looks like. If you just say hi to every single person and just ask them, are you Hamish's uncle? Eventually you'll find someone who might say yes. Now, why is the Stormers faded? The ref says, Grant, I don't think it's the ref that's made them fade. They got their bonus point and then they kind of took the foot off the gas completely. But we've got 3 minutes remaining in this contest. I just realised how far behind the scoreboard was. Off to the left-hand side again now. And a bit of the spin from Damien Valimza. To the left-hand side again. Big collision. 22 metres from the line. Where are you watching the game? On URC TV here in New Zealand. I don't think there are too many free-to-view options for this game, unfortunately, but the highlights will be up on the URC YouTube channel not too long after the game. Great stepping from Similani. A lamp with the pass on the outside, but then it's knocked on by Leleon Zas. I have to go back for another scrum. And Zebre, do they have time? No. They have time to get a bonus point from this game for being within 7. But they've got a long way to go. I wasn't too far off my prediction. Said Zebre 17 Stormers 24. Yeah, to be fair, if they had gone for that 3-pointer rather than going for the corner off that last one, you would have only been 1 point off. In fact, I've got all the things that are starred, don't I? So I can look through. At the moment, you're looking the closest. Someone had 18-28. That was Daniel Davids. 21-27. That was Avril. Aldrich had 19 Zebre and 28 Stormers. I've got to try and do the maths off the top of my head. So they had 4 extra points for the... Oh, that's too hard to do. And then we also had... Okay, the ones that just went through YouTube aren't that close. So I think you're the closest, Stephanie, out of everyone. Warriors rampant. I predicted 24 points to 13 to the Stormers, says Xander. And thank you for your commentary. Oh, and that's stolen. Uh-oh, that's changed things. They have just given away an interception try for the Stormers. 50 seconds remaining of the shot clock. I think they just want to check this one, but they may now move up to 29. I may have just jinxed that in terms of checking to see who was closest. But Ruan Nell may have got that try there. Yeah, no, he just gets up there quickly. And thanks, Hamish and all. Looking forward to your South African travel blogs, vids with Kiwi Lads fans. Says Studs Race there. A nice Xander. I predicted 31-13. Says AJS there. Although I've got your prediction down as 38-17 in favour of the Stormers, AJS. Right, the try does stand. So now it's going to become 31-13. So up until that last minute, now we're going to find the next one, don't we? 28-18's not a mile off for Daniel. And 28-19's not a mile off for Aldrich as well. And no one's talking about that prediction. I have two. So here's AJS. I do love an interception. It looks like they're going to try and use up the rest of the time. One moment, I'm about to sneeze again. There we go. And the kick has gone over from Sasha, and that will end the game now. The Stormers, with the bonus point win, 31 points to 13. It's about, wait, what was my prediction? I went Stormers by 20, that's not 24 points. I got all excited there for a second and then actually looked at the scoreboard and went, never mind, that's not close to mine, but I should have stuck with the Stormers by 15. Would have been a lot closer. YouTube needs to give us a log where we can submit our scores and auto tell us the closest prediction. Says Xander, are you saying that my looking at them was not competent enough for yourself, Xander? That game, we'll see you next time. And Stormers to win, but stress always. And also 42 points to 17, and about as many sneezes as points in this game. That's a lot of sneezes. 44 in that case. To be fair, there were a couple doubles off to the side, so maybe. Definitely need a hay fever tablet of some sort. Anyone able to explain why man of the match is Evan Ruiz and not Sasha? It's a great question because I don't think Evan Ruiz did that much. Sounds a bit harsh. He obviously did quite a bit, very close to my prediction. So here's Casper there. And until next time, everyone says Ruth. So yeah, later on today, in about what time? It will be 7 a.m. for you guys in South Africa. But if you're keen on a bit of rugby league, but more so just a bit of a chat with myself, and hopefully George will be joining me on that one. Be sure to pop in. We will be scheduling that live stream in the near future, but it is 6 p.m. for us here in New Zealand. Menier has said, thank you for your great commentary and interaction, sir. No worries at all. And we're going to be back next week with plenty more games of the URC2, including, but not limited to, because that sounds all official. 1 second. We go here. So, we got Glasgow versus the Bulls, hopefully Saturday morning. Lions versus Ulster. Sharks versus Scarlets. Benetton versus Stormers. I think that's the gist of those games. Then we've also got Japan versus Australia as another game. Mr. Kiwi Sir says on the right. And also Leka Slup, Mr. Kiwi Sir. And hey, Hamish and George Mahoo says Ruth in there as well. And what a game. Yeah, good win for the Stormers. They got that bonus point. They kept the game under control. And they went on to get themselves the win. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.